Hello and welcome to Connect, the weekly podcast for the California MBA, featuring one-on-one interviews with movers and shakers in the mortgage industry. I'm Susan Milazzo, CEO of the California MBA. I'm happy that you could join us today. Before I welcome today's guests, I would like to thank our 2024 President's Council sponsors. Now, these are companies that provide a tremendous amount of financial support for our association in large part so that we can continue to be a very strong voice for the real estate finance industry before the California State Legislature and our regulators. Remember, advocacy is the cornerstone of what we do. And so I'd like to thank our President's Council sponsors for giving us support this year. And those companies are AmeriHome, Arch MI, CMG Financial, Consolidated Analytics, Funding Shield, Guild Mortgage, and Western Alliance Bank. Thank you all so much for your support this year. And with that, I'd like to welcome my guest on today's podcast. I have two of my board members and also the co-chairs for this year's Mortgage Innovators Conference, Kevin Peranio from PRMG and Paul Gigliotti with PG Operations. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks for having us. Or thanks for having me.
Honored to be on your board.
I don't know what I was thinking, putting two of my bosses on one podcast. I better not mess that up. This is like
you're the boss.
You're the boss, lady.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is.
Hey, I want to thank you both for being serving as leaders for our Mortgage Innovators Conference this year. A very special place for this conference. I started it a handful of years ago with the idea to provide a place for lenders, our members, to experience kind of cutting edge innovations and technology solutions to make their companies more efficient, more productive, and improve that customer experience. So why don't you maybe share with our listeners a little bit about what folks can expect this year?
Well, I'll start real quick, and I think you opened it up with nailing it on the head. It is one of the only conferences out there that is really geared towards providing innovative solutions for our lending industry, both on the residential side, right? Mm-hmm. So I think the conference has a good size of attendees. We also always have a large lender ratio. And you still walk in to have this feel of intimacy. And when attendees are there, not only have we heard great things about the production quality of the event, the conference, but we always get the same feedback of, I felt like you were talking directly to me, and I felt like you were really sharing not just the great technology that's available to me as a lender, but I felt like you were really sharing how we could utilize that technology to innovate our process, our workflow, become more efficient and lower cost. So I think from my perspective, that's what really stands out about the Mortgage Innovators Conference that the California MBA has created. What about you, KP?
I mean, I love, I'm a little over a year now on the board. The cornerstone of the California MBA is advocacy, as Susan mentioned, and she's just an amazing CEO and just really runs that business with a great team behind her. But then also, leveraging that trade organization and having this innovation show. I mean, having a show that helps serve our communities. California is 28% of all the lending gets done in this state. There are a lot of lenders based here. So we actually pull in a lot of members and lenders that come in from other states around the country, including the vendor side as well. And so it isn't just California focused. I mean, look, to quote Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I'm a Texan saying this, I mean, it's Californication. What starts here literally changes the world. That's my alma mater, University of Texas at Austin. That's their slogan. What starts here changes the world. But in lending, California is like that. So you've got a lot of innovation, a lot of companies, a lot of tech companies that are based here, lenders based here. So people come here. And it's the last great innovation show before the fall. There's one left in the year, really, and it's not until, I believe, October, September, October, November. So things are rocking right now. People's pipelines are up. There's a little bit of tailwind, at least not as many headwinds as the last year and a half. But the timing of the show is fantastic. So I love the fact that we're putting it on. Paul, you co-chaired it last year with Margaret Shivarini, which was great. And so me getting to work together with you, your second run, at co-chairing this show. It's the honor is all mine to be part of this organization and the MIC.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like you've set a new record, Kevin. I don't think that the Peppers have ever been mentioned on this podcast before. So way to go. Way to go, you. Kevin, it's cutting edge. Kevin Peranio, all the time.
And can I throw in one more thing? Like KP and I talked about benefits being, technology, innovation, increasing efficiencies, decreasing, spend, right? So on top of all of that, I will say, and I've been to a handful of conferences, not quite as many as KP. The innovation deck party that y'all throw is pretty freaking awesome.
Oh,
they've got a great DJ, full spread buffet. So it gives you the ability, like you just hang around and talk and network and get to connect with those people that you see up on stage, but in a really friendly atmosphere and environment. So it's, there's a lot of work that's done. There's a lot of meetings that are conducted. There's a lot of sharing the tech demos. But we also kind of have a good time. In fact, I remember last year having like a really good time till like the wee hours of the morning. So it's a lot of work and a lot of play.
Wouldn't be a mortgage industry conference without a big party. That deck party has been part of the event since its inception, and now it's just become a big cornerstone of it. I think it's a great opportunity because, sponsors or attendees aren't having to figure out where am I going to take guests or, my clients for dinner. We have full buffet, we have a music, full hosted bar open, lots of usually games and things out there. So it will be fun. That innovation deck party is always something to look forward to. And Kevin, thank you for bringing up I get this question a lot about, well, it's a California event, so only California people come. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but because we do represent the large part of the mortgage industry for the nation, we always attract from across the country, and that's going to be true with this conference this year again.
Yeah, amen. You're coming from Chicago. Paul's coming from Atlanta. I'm a Texan, transplanted here in California. I'm coming in from Orange County. I love it. And it's right there at Disney too. So like that deck where the party and the gathering happens, a couple different times, you're overlooking Disneyland and it's right there. Yeah. So you can make a family event out of it. And I know I don't want to like have breaking news, but this event this year, this last multi-year event at this particular venue in Anaheim is leading into a much cooler spot next year. So we know who is taking care of the show and who's part of it. And so we want to do things special for our sponsors and our, all of our members that come to this show on its last legs here. I'm not saying where, because we haven't locked it down, but let's just say that we're going to be overlooking some sand more than likely next year, or at least near some water. So
that's right.
So it is. I mean, so we're leaning this show into going and launching into next year, and people are spending money now. I mean, lenders are starting to kind of come out of the woodworks. Mm-hmm. We had a great March. I know a lot of companies had a great March. Certainly felt way better than the last year and a half. So March, April, and then going into May with this kind of like full pipeline, lots of business going on. All right, time to reinvest in our business again. If we got skinny the last year and a half, where do I need to put the dollars? Oh, here's some great vendor partners that the Mortgage Innovator Conference is showing us right here in Anaheim. This is where I'm going to put my dollars. And just so you know, we've completely replaced our reporting system from a vendor that I met for the first time at MIC last year. And so,
that's good to know.
I mean, I'm completely replaced Power BI. We literally shut it off and we have a whole new reporting system. So if you want to know who it is, you got to come visit and come see them. But these are real actionable, vendor relationships that are being made and met and helping lenders continue to build a better business.
That's interesting you share that. I've actually have heard that same thing, both from solution providers and lenders. So that's consistent with some other feedback that I got. I have to give a big shout out to our premier sponsor, CoreLogic. We're very happy to be welcoming them to the Mortgage Innovators Conference. What a great group of people they are. And we're actually going to be doing a premier sponsor spotlight on the morning of day 2. We're going to be able to experience CoreLogic's suite of products and some of their integration partners. So we're excited for that. I think lenders, who wants to talk about how lenders can register for a pretty fair price?
Yeah, we're pushing our sale through, right? So California
Yes.
MBA member lenders, get this, you guys, the conference is free. If you're a California MBA member, you get into a conference that I think is $695 for free. So that's a huge bonus. And then is the price $175 for non-members? Is that correct, Susan?
I think it's 150 for non-members, and we're running
150.
that flash sale this week. So register at mortgageinnovators.com and you can take advantage of the sale and join us for this incredible event in just a few weeks.
Can't wait to
I
see
mean,
you there.
we've all been to so many expensive shows in Vegas in the tech realm. This is a great show. It rivals on every level, and now it definitely on price. And so it's, we're doing this flash sale. It's a great thing. We want to drive the membership and get some attendees. It's going to be a phenomenal show.
I can't wait to see you guys there. So thank you both for joining me on the Connect podcast, and I will see you live and in person in just a few weeks at the Mortgage Innovators Conference.
Thank you, Susan.
Have a great weekend. Cheers. Thank you.
See you, KP.
And thanks to all of you for joining us on today's podcast. To access any of our past episodes, you can follow us on our YouTube channel. We're also available on SoundCloud, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. That's it for this week, and we'll see you next time on Connect.